Hey everyone, it's Warriors NRL Fanatics here. Hope you're doing well on this Wednesday evening. Hello to everyone. If you are a new viewer to this YouTube channel or a returning viewer and you haven't done so already, please make sure you don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Subscribing shows your support for the content that I do, and it's absolutely free and it's much appreciated as well. It all does help the channel as we are trying to get to 3K subscribers. So we want to try and get to 3K subscribers real soon. So help us to do so. And don't forget to share the video, share the live stream, like the live stream, click the thumbs up button, click that like button if you haven't done so already. It does also help as well. And I'm here to give you guys all my NRL tips for round one. And give my predictions for this week's games. And if you guys haven't done so, go and check out some of the recent videos that I put up on the channel. My New South Wales Cup preview for the Warriors game this week. And also, I got a video and a live stream up also this week as well. So go and check out the recent content as well. And we'll say hello to everyone in the chat. So pop into the chat. So if you guys are here, do interact in the live chat as well. It shows that you guys shows you guys are actually here watching the content. Hello to Jason Reader. Good evening, Jason. Hope you're doing well. Hello to Greg in the chat as well. Hope you're doing well yourself. Hello from New Zealand. And yes, that's right, Jason. Like the stream, everyone. Do all the following. Like, share, and subscribe. It all really does help the content, helps the channel, and it's absolutely free as well. It doesn't cost anything at all. So let's get into the games this week. Obviously, no Warriors in action. My boys aren't in action this week. Still in Vegas, obviously traveling back to New Zealand, so the teams in Vegas aren't playing, but the teams that are in Australia are playing this weekend. So we'll start off with the first game of the week on Thursday, the 6th of March, tomorrow night, sees the Sydney Roosters taking on the Brisbane Broncos. Now, this game is at Allianz Stadium in Sydney, kicking off at 7 p.m. Queensland time, 8 p.m. New South Wales time, 10 p.m. New Zealand time. It is on Fox Sports, Fox League, KO in Australia, and also on Channel 9, free to air, and it's on Sky Sports if you are in New Zealand. So that is where you can watch the game. In terms of this game, Sydney Roosters, Brisbane Broncos, the Roosters have lost a lot of experience in the off-season. They also got a few injuries as well. So we see a halves combination of Sandon Smith and Chad Townsend. Chad Townsend, who's signed on from the Cowboys. As for the Broncos' new coach in Michael Maguire takes over in his first NRL game. First NRL game as a Broncos coach, of course. And he is going to try and get this Brisbane Broncos team back to being a top 8 side in 2025. And I think they're going to be real contenders to be top 4 this year. I've got them personally making the top 4 this season. So, look, the Broncos were very good in the trials. Obviously, preseason doesn't mean anything at all, but they show some good signs there. The Roosters are a really interesting team this year. I think they're personally going to struggle. And with the losses of Carey and Hargraves no longer there. I think it's going to be a really tough season for the Roosters. But the Roosters generally do every season make the top 8. They're always in the finals. So you just never know what to expect. But look, at saying that, I think once Sam Walker's come back for the Roosters, I think the Roosters will start winning a few more games. But I think they're going to have a real tough start to the year. So look, for me, in terms of predicting this game, I'm going to go with the Brisbane Broncos to win this one, actually. And I reckon they will win over in Sydney and get the first W of the season, travelling away from home. And the Broncos, 28 points to the Sydney Roosters 12 is my prediction for this game. First try scorer, I'm actually going to go with Daniel Tupou, and anytime try scorer, I'm going to go with Reece Walsh. Jesse Arthurs, and Dominic Young. So I'm going to go with the Sydney Roosters, the Brisbane Broncos. Sorry, actually, I'm going to go with the Broncos, 28-12, and I think they'll get the victory for me over the Sydney Roosters at Allianz Stadium in Sydney. And we'll go to the Friday game now. So Friday games, Jason Reeder's going with the Sydney Roosters. Good luck to you, Sydney Roosters, this season, Jason Reeder. And he's going with a Roosters 1-12 margin. So Friday, the 7th of March, sees 2 games of Friday night footy. It's back, and that is the West Tigers taking on the Newcastle Knights. Now, this game is being played at Campbelltown Stadium in Sydney, and it kicks off at 5 p.m. Queensland time, 6 p.m. New South Wales time, 8 p.m. 8 p.m. New Zealand time. Look, the West Tigers, obviously the big signing of Jerome Luai from the Penrith Panthers, a huge signing for the Tigers, and it is a very good one in itself because he's going to bring a lot of experience to the table. And he's going to be partnering up with young Lachlan Galvin, who had a very good season last year. Very young, and, I think he's very talented as well. So it's going to be really interesting to see how Lachlan Galvin and, Jerome Luai go as a halves pairing. I'm really keen to see how that goes. This is Benji's also his second year as an NRL head coach. It was a tough year last year. I do expect the Tigers to be a lot more of an improved side this year. I don't think they'll be, wooden spooners. The only way is up for them as a whole. So yeah, I think they will. Look, I don't think they'll make the top 8 this year, but I think they'll be a lot better this season. I don't think they're going to be as bad as what they've been in the previous years. Look, as for the Knights, Newcastle Knights made the finals last year. Got a bit fortunate to make the finals, to be quite honest. I felt like in that game against the Dolphins at the back end of the season, the Dolphins probably should have won that. So they did scrap into the 8 yet again. The Knights have been scrapping into the 8 the past couple of seasons. So, the good thing is for the Knights, they do have a fully fit Ponga playing. Their halves combination is a lot different this season. So can they stay consistent with their halves pairing? That's going to be really important for the Knights, because I think that's the thing they really lacked last year was the fact that they keep changing their halves combination spine every week. So they're going to have to hope that, this is going to be a more consistent showing for their halves pairing, throughout the season. So, yeah, look, it's in Campbelltown Stadium. It's in Sydney. I think the Tigers will be really up for this one at home. As for the Knights, the Knights have a very good quality side as well. So it's interesting. It's going to be really interesting to see what the Tigers do. Yeah, look, I think this is a tricky one to call. It's a really tough game to tip because, I was close to tipping the Tigers, and then I flipped to the Knights, and then I went to the Tigers again. It's just a tricky game to really call. Both of these teams need to get off to a good start this season. They need to get off to a winning start because both these teams, don't want to be leaving it to the back end of the year to try and get into the finals. And I know the Knights have done it the past couple of years, but the Knights will. For me, I've got the Knights struggling this year, but based on preseason, they didn't look too bad. So, you can't really base anything on preseason, but they didn't look too bad on the way they played. So, before I get my prediction, I'll say hello to Mel in the chat. Hello to Mel in the chat, guys. Hello to Mel. Hope you're doing well. And Tahi is saying, I think the Roosters will be an interesting game. Looking forward to seeing, if May can still be the main man for the Tigers, and yeah, the Knights also have the best back. They do. They have the good of the outside backs for sure, and their four pack's good as well with Leo Thompson. As well, it's a strong four pack for the Knights, and I think the Knights probably do have the outside backs. And look, the Tigers have a very young side, so that's the most interesting thing is to see how they can, gel I don't think it's going to be a quick, gel, in my opinion. But look, I wouldn't be surprised if the Tigers won this game. I wouldn't be shocked. But I am actually going to tip the Knights here. I'm going to go Newcastle Knights, but I think it's going to be a really low-scoring game. These two teams will really want to get off to a good mark here, but I'm going to go Knights 18 points to 10. Newcastle Knights 18-10 is my prediction, my score prediction, and my first try score. I'm going to go with the Tigers to score the first try of this game, and I think it'll be the new recruit from Penrith and Sunia Charuva on the wing. Now, anytime try scorers, I'm going to go Bradman Best and Jacob Saifiti, and I'm going to go Adam Dewey from the Tigers. But feel free to put your predictions into the live chat, guys. Put in your score prediction. Who do you think is going to win? And your first try scorers and anytime try scorers as well. And Mel says, I think the Broncos will win, but hopefully the Roosters do. Roosters do. The Tigers over the Knights. And it's good to see you in the chat, Tahi, bro. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, I just think that the Knights will win. But wouldn't be shocked if the Tigers got up at home. So really tough game to call, really tricky game to tip. But yeah, it should be an interesting game. Really interested to see how both teams go this season. Now on to the next game now. So it sees the South Sydney Rabbitohs taking on the Dolphins. Now this game was originally scheduled to be played at Suncorp Stadium in Brisbane. This was supposed to be a Dolphins home game, but unfortunately, due to the cyclone forecast here in Queensland and New South Wales, parts of New South Wales, the game has been moved to Combank Stadium in Sydney. So this game has actually been shifted to a Combank Stadium in Sydney due to the cyclone forecast here in Queensland. So yeah, this game kicks off at 7 p.m. Queensland time. So that'll be 8 p.m. New South Wales time, 10 p.m. New Zealand time. And this game is on KO, Fox Sports in Australia, and Sky Sports in New Zealand. And this is also a Channel 9 game in Australia, free to air as well. And the other game is on KO and Sky Sports for those in Australia. But yeah, South Sydney Rabbitohs versus the Dolphins. Look, for me, this is quite an intriguing game because you've got the South Sydney Rabbitohs going into this year. Wayne Bennett returns as a head coach for the Rabbitohs, coming from the Dolphins. Then you've got also the Dolphins. They've got a new coach in Christian Wolf, and Christian Wolf takes over from Wayne Bennett. So it's the two former coaches of the Dolphins up against each other in this one. So it's really interesting to see, how Christian Wolf goes as a head coach for the Finns and Wayne goes for the Bunnies as well. As for the Bunnies, they've had a lot of injuries in the off-season, massive injuries. The big one, of course, Cameron Murray, which is a real shame for Souths. But in saying that, look, they still have named a pretty good side as well. So you got Humphreys there. Jamie Humphreys been named in the halves as well with Cody Walker. Jamie Humphreys was very good in the trials, but particularly the trial against the Dragons, where Souths did not win that game, but he was very good actually, Jamie Humphreys, who signed from the Manly Seagulls. So should be interesting to see how him and Cody Walker goes as a halves pairing. So that'll be interesting. And of course, the Dolphins, they've got some very good quality players in their side. Like the Herbie Farnworths, who's the best centre in the game at the moment, in my opinion. So yeah, it'll be quite interesting. Look, originally I had the Dolphins it was at Suncorp Stadium, but now that it's moved to Sydney, I think the Rabbitohs will win this game. I really do. I know the Rabbitohs are underdogs going into this game, even though they're at home. But look, I know the Dolphins are favourites, but I'm actually going to tip an upset. I'm going to go with the Bunnies here at home in Sydney. Now, I think if this was in Queensland at Suncorp Stadium, I probably would have tipped the Dolphins. But since it's been moved, I think it will probably favour the Rabbitohs more than the Dolphins, considering all things considered. I think the Rabbitohs will be the happiest that it's been moved to CommBank Stadium. I don't think the Dolphins will be too impressed that's been, shifted there. So, I'm going to go with the Rabbitohs here to win this game. And I reckon it's going to be a really close, tough match between these two sides. I'll go with the Rabbitohs, 22 points to the Dolphins 18. And my first try scorer, I'm going to go with the Hammer. I'm going to go with my first try scorer. I'm actually going to go with Campbell Graham, Campbell Graham for the Rabbitohs. And anytime try scorer, I'm going to go with Hamaso Tibai Fido, Keon Kloa Matangi, and Herbie Farnworth. So those are my try scorers for this game. And just popping into the chat to see who you guys are tipping. So Mel's going Finns 1 to 12. Jason Reed's going with the Rabbitohs 1 to 12. Tahi Bro's going with the Finns. Master versus the Apprentice. Absolutely, it's the Master versus the Apprentice. And Christian Wolf as a rookie coach up against Wayne, who Christian Wolf worked under Wayne at the Dolphins as a assistant coach, and now they are coming up against each other as head coaches. And Greg is saying here, I think the Roosters 17, Broncos 15. Tahi Bros is looking forward to watching Gilbert. Yes, good. Looking forward to watching Tommy Gilbert in action for the Finns. That should be a real good one there. As for Jason, who's saying Tigers 1 to 12. And Mel thinks the Broncos will win, which we've already gone through that tip as well. So my tip there, like I said, I reckon the Bunnies will get up and win the game. Now to the next game, and the next one of Friday night football to wrap it Friday footy up. It sees, this is Saturday footy, guys. Apologies, guys. Saturday the 8th of March, not Friday, my bad. We're finished with the Friday footy. So Friday the 8th of March sees St George Illawarra Dragons are taking on the Canterbury Bouncetown Bulldogs. Now, this game is actually being played at Nostrata Jubilee Stadium in Sydney, so it is a home game for the Dragons. Now, this kicks off at 4:30 p.m. Queensland time, 5:30 New South Wales time, and 7:30 p.m. New Zealand time. Now, this game is on KO and Foxtel in Australia, and for New Zealand viewers, it is on Sky Sports over there. Now, in terms of the Dragons, they have made some big signings in the off-season. Valentine Holmes, obviously, it's a big one. Clinton Gufferson is another one, and also they've signed some very good quality players in their side. They've made a huge off-season signing spree. As for the Bulldogs, last year was a very good season for the Bulldogs, and Cameron Serrato had a very good year coaching as well. So I'm quite interested to see what the Bulldogs can do this year. Can they back up their good season last year? As for the Dragons, can they improve and get better? Because no doubt about it, they will want to return to being a finals team. Now, look, I think the Dragons can get it up here. I do feel like the Dragons can get the win. I'm actually going to back a underdog again. I'm going to back a upset here, and I reckon the Dragons can get the win over the Dogs. And I know some people might think differently here, but I'm going to go with the Dragons to win this game. That's right. I'm tipping the Dragons to cause an upset over the Bulldogs. I think they can do it. And I'm going to go with a Dragons 19, Bulldogs 12 scoreline. Now, first try scorer, I'm going to go with Matthew Feagai. And anytime try scorer, I'm going to go with Blake Wilson. And former Warrior, who's back at the Bulldogs, I'm going to back in Marcelo Montoya to score a try for the Dogs. And then you've got Jacob Preston and Jaden Stewart. Those are my anytime try scorers. So, yeah, I'm going to go with a Dragons victory, 19 points to 12. That's right. I'm going to back a underdog. I'm going to back an upset Oh, I think there's a possibility of a lot of surprises this coming round in these games. And I know everyone's going to tip the favourites, but I think there's always a chance of an underdog getting up. Mel's saying here dogs 1-12. Hello to Tans. Tans is saying here Dragons 1-12. See, Tans is going with a underdog victory there as well. And Tahi Bro is saying Dragons. I want to see Gula. Yep, Gula as well. The Dragons, former Raider, Imra Gula. So that will be really interesting to see how that goes. But I think the Dragons can do it. I just have that weird feeling that they can get up, and everyone's expecting the Dogs to win, and because the Dogs had a good year last year and that. But I think the Dragons have got the capability to go and get the win, and they're at home as well, and they'll have the fans behind them. So I think they can do it. I really do. Look, I wouldn't be shocked if the Bulldogs won, but I think the Dragons can get up and get the victory at home, and get the 2 points from me. But it should be an interesting game. It should be a really interesting game. Yeah, the Dragons do have a scary main pack as well. They do have a very good 4-pack as well. So, look, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if the Dragons won. And look, if the Dogs win, well, they're favourites, so that doesn't surprise me as well. But the Dragons have got a very good quality side, in my opinion. So, yeah, I think they'll get up. Now, on to the next game now. And the next game sees the Manly Seagulls taking on the North Queensland Cowboys. Now, this game's actually been played at Four Pines Park in Sydney, so it's a home game for the Manly Seagulls. This game kicks off at 6:35 p.m. Queensland time, 7:35 p.m. New South Wales time, 9:35 p.m. New Zealand time, and it's on Sky Sports and KO. So Sky Sports in New Zealand and KO in Foxtel in Australia. And this game, kicks off 7:35 New South Wales time, 9:35 New Zealand time. So look, with the Seagulls this season should be interesting. They made the finals last year, as did the Cowboys. The Cowboys finished in 5th. So both these teams are coming off good years last year. Quite interesting, because with the Manly Seagulls and the Cowboys, they've always had some very good quality matchups. And there's been some high-scoring games between these two teams in the past. So, look, Manly come into this game as the favourites, but I wouldn't be writing off the Cowboys in this one. The Cowboys have a very good, solid side. It's going to be interesting to see how they go this year. The Seagulls, look, I think the Seagulls might do do well this year as well. I think they may do well. Obviously, you got Tommy Trbojevic, fullback. You got Jazz as well, Tavanga playing hooker in this one, so that's really interesting to see how that goes. Tricky game, really tricky game. I don't know which way to go at this one. I have flipped a coin each way every time for this. Look, Manly at home should be favourites and should win, but I just can't write off the Cowboys in this game. Look, I am going to go Manly. I'm going to go with the Seagulls here, and I do think it's going to be a really high-scoring game between these two teams. I'm going to go Manly Seagulls to win this one, 28 points to the Cowboys 22. Yep, 28-22. First try scorer, I'm actually going to go with Lehigh Hopawate. Anytime try scorer, I'm going to go with Jeremiah Nanai and Homole Olakwatu and Tommy Trbojevic. I reckon Tommy Trbojevic will score a try. Homole will score one too, and Jeremiah Nanai, I vote anytime. So those are my anytime try scorers in this game. And I just reckon that Manly will get up. But if Cowboys get up, wouldn't be shocked. This is a really hard round to tip. Round one, it's really tricky to tip first rounds in the seasons, and especially the next couple of weeks, because you want to be surprised if there's some favourites not getting up. You want to be shocked if there are some underdogs and some surprises in some games. But the bookies and the betting companies will all have the certain teams as favourites. So Manly should win, but don't be surprised if the Cowboys get up and go there and get the win as well. So I wouldn't be surprised. Jason's saying here, Manly 1-12. Tahi, bro, I want to watch McIntyre in this game. Tarns is saying sub, Turbo, Nanai, anytime. Good shout there, Tarns. Really good shout. Mel's going with the Cowboys by 4 prediction. I like it, Mel. Tahi's saying Manly too strong. Cows, let's see if Dufty keeps the spot. Yeah, Dufty's first game for the Cowboys in the NRL, so it's his debut. So that will be really interesting to see how he goes. And of course, the key for the Cowboys for me is probably going to be the likes of your Scott Drinkwater's and your halves combo there, and then you got their forwards as well with that's going to be the key for the Cowboys going into the game. They got to match it with the Manly side. Tahi Bro saying Dragons have a scary man pack. I've already just read that. Apologies if I've read that again. And yeah, should be interesting to see how it all goes between these two sides in the Cowboys and the Seagulls. But it should be a good game in my opinion. Now on to the next game and the final game actually of the round. On the Sunday, the 9th of March, sees the Melbourne Storm taking on the Parramatta Eels. Now, this game has been played at Amy Park in Melbourne. Kicks off at 3:05 Queensland time, 4:05 p.m. New South Wales time, 6:05 p.m. for viewers in New Zealand. Now, this game is a Channel 9 game, actually, on the Sunday night here, a Sunday afternoon, evening here. And also, it's on KO and Foxtel Australia, and for New Zealand viewers, it's on Sky Sports as well. Now, this game is interesting because you've got Jason Riles, the new Parramatta Eels head coach, up against Craig Bellamy in the Melbourne Storm. And we know the Melbourne Storm have such a great record in round 1 NRL fixtures. And we know they haven't lost a round 1 game in years. And, it's such a great record that the Storm have. And you've got to be a little bit envious and jealous that the Storm have such the greatest record in round 1s. And it goes back to Craig Bellamy being there for such a long, long time. I don't know, the Storm always have such a good record when it comes to round 1 matchups. And look, it wouldn't surprise me if they continue that on. It wouldn't really surprise me. And Melbourne have such a good squad this year, and I've got them as my premiership favourites. Personally, I think Melbourne are going to be well up there come the end of the season. And look, they haven't lost anyone. They've lost no one in the off-season. They've gained Stefano Tukumani as well. Their pack is going to look really much more stronger with him in there. You've got Katoa, he had a great year last year. You've got Pappenhausen at the back at fullback. You got Jerome Hughes, the Dally M winner from last year. That's a very, very strong Melbourne Storm side, and they're at home. And look, unfortunately for the Eels, they have to take on a Storm side at Amy Park in round 1. That's a tricky, very tough encounter for someone like your Jason Riles' first game as an NRL head coach for the Eels. And the biggest blow for the Eels, no Moses. That is a massive, massive out for Parramatta. They do have Ronald Volkman coming into the side, and I think Ronald Volkman can do a good job there. Dylan Brown, man, there's going to be a lot of pressure on Dylan Brown going into this game. There's a lot of talk around him in the off-season at the moment with his contract running out. There's Newcastle Knights offering him a big, big deal. So it's up to Dylan Brown in this game to come out and show his true price tag as to why, the likes of your Knights and that are trying to get him on big money. So, look, there's going to be a lot of pressure on Dylan Brown as a whole. As for the Eagles, he needs to have a big game against Melbourne. Otherwise, if he doesn't have a big game, I think, the Eels are really going to struggle. They're going to struggle. They need everyone out to step up. They've also got that young fullback as well, and Yongi as well. No Gufferson. So young Yongi is playing there. So it's going to be, really interested to see how the Eels go this year. Look, if Moses was playing, I probably would have given the Eels more of a chance, but I don't think they're going to be able to win this one. I think the Storm will be too strong. And unfortunately for Eels fans, I think the Storm are going to put on a big score on Parramatta at home in round one. And they're going to send out a bit of a opening statement in round one of the season. So, yeah, I'm going to go Melbourne Storm here to win. And they're going to win 32 points to 12. I think it's going to be an absolute smashing by the Storm. The Storm will win it well. I do hope it's a good game. I hope it's a competitive, close match. I really do, but I just can't see it. I can't see it with no Moses. It's going to be all on Dylan Brown to do something. So, yeah, it's going to be tricky. It's going to be tricky for the Eels. And unfortunately, not having Moses in this game is going to really affect them, I think, personally. It's going to be a tough outing for them. I'm going to go first try scorer. I'm going to go Xavier Coates. And anytime try scorers, I'm going to go with Zach Lomax to score in his first game in Eels colours. And then I'm going to go Nick Meaney. Jerome Hughes, I think, will score a try as well. And Eliasa Katoa for me for the Storm. But Storm, I think Storm will win, and they will win well, unfortunately. But I am hoping for a close competitive match. And look, I would love to see an upset. I would love to see the Eels get up personally. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think the Storm will be too good. And, Mal's saying Storm will win easily, but hoping Eels can bring some magic, yeah. Also, I'm hoping that every game this round is very competitive and close, but I think this will be the one-sided game to end round one, unfortunately. And hope I'm wrong, but that's the way I see it going. Yeah, Dylan Brown's para is big time, yeah, and good luck to Ronald Volkman. Absolutely good luck to Ronald Volkman there. Tarns is saying, all jokes aside, the Storm 36-10. Yeah, they'll be too good. Tahi Bro saying Volkman leading the show. Jason saying Storm are my specials. Hello to Jose in the chat. I do see you, Jose. So good to see you. Hope you're doing well, bro. And it's good to see you in the chat. Tahi Bro. Tarns is saying Storm 104 to the Eels 6. Storm 13 plus. And yeah, it's pretty hard debut. Yeah, absolutely. It really is there. And good luck with your tips. Cheers, Jason. And Greg's saying Melbourne Storm 36, Eels 16. So there we go. That wraps it up. So I'll go through my tips again for those of you who have just tuned in. So I'll go through my tips once again. So the Sydney Roosters, Brisbane Broncos. I've actually gone with a Brisbane Broncos win, 28 points to 12. And my try scorers, first try scorer, I'm going with Daniel Tupou. Anytime try scorer, Reece Walsh, GC Arthurs, and Dominic Young. For the Friday night game, I've gone with the West Tigers and the Newcastle Knights. At Campbelltown Stadium, gone with the Knights to win that one, 18 points to 10. First try scorer, Sunil Taruva. Anytime try scorers, Bradman Best and Jacob Saifidi and Adam Dewey. And the next one, South Sydney Rabbitohs versus the Dolphins at CommBank Stadium in Sydney. And this game, I'm actually going with a Rabbitohs victory and an upset. I'm going to go Rabbitohs 22, Dolphins 18. The other games, the George Illawarra Dragons versus the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs. I'm going to go with the Dragons victory here, 19 points to 12 over the Dogs. My first try scorer was Matthew Feagai, and my anytime try scorers were Blake Wilson, Marcelo Montoya, and Jacob Preston. The Manly Seagulls versus the North Queensland Cowboys. I've gone with the Manly Seagulls 28, Cowboys 22. First try scorer, Lehigh Hopawate. Anytime try scorer, I'm going to go with Jeremiah Nanai, Hamole Olakwatu, and Tom Trbojevic. And then the final game on the Sunday to wrap up round one, I've gone with the Melbourne Storm, 32 points to 12 over the Eels, and my first try scorer, Xavier Coates. Anytime try scorer, Zach Lomax, Nick Meaney, Jerome Hughes, and Eliasa Katoa. So those are my tips, everyone. So that is it. That wraps up my NRL round one tips. Good luck to your teams on the weekend. And if you are a new viewer to the YouTube channel and you haven't done so already, make sure you don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. click that subscribe button down below. It shows your support for the content that I do, and it's much appreciated as well. It's absolutely free, and it all really does help push and grow the content out to more, grow the content out to more people. So do subscribe to the channel. And yeah, don't forget to like this video. Make sure you like the video, like the live stream. Don't forget to click the thumbs up button on the live stream if you haven't done so already. It does only just take a second. Hit that like button, click the thumbs up button, share the stream, share the video. And yeah, if you are watching it back, comment your NRL tips for round one in the YouTube comment section down below as well. And also don't forget to go and check out the recent videos that I've posted on the channel already as well. So Hosea is the same here. Longy to score a double, Katoa to score and a try assist. Yeah, awesome. But have a good one, everyone. And enjoy NRL round one. And yeah, no Warriors in action this week, but the boys are back in action next week against the Eagles. So looking forward to watching the boys there in that game on Friday night at Go Media Mount Smart Stadium. But enjoy the footy this weekend. Enjoy your rugby league. And may the best team win, whoever your team is. Good luck to them. And we'll see you guys all next week for another round of NRL tips. Have a good one.